Hey guys, so I'm about to model for you what you're going to do on the following slides. So we're about to read and annotate starting on page 12. So we're going to go back to page 12 where Claudette explains her childhood. Our annotation directions, we're going to be looking for what kind of character does Claudette Colvin have? What are some words that would describe her character, her personality? On each slide, you will underline the things that Claudette says, does, and thinks that reveal the type of person that she is. Underneath the paragraph, you're going to write down a word or two that describes her character based on the evidence you underlined. And remember, we're doing all of this to answer this final question: why does Huss, the author, include Claudette's perspective on pages 12 and 17? Today, we're really going to focus on page 12. What's the main idea of page 12? And how does page 12 connect to the rest of the book? So you're going to have a slide in front of you that looks like this. I'm going to model the first one. Underline things that Claudette says, thinks, and does. So I'm going to come down here to my marker tool. You can either use your highlighter. I'm going to use my highlighter. I'm going to make it kind of big. And I'm going to highlight things that Claudette says, thinks, and does. This is my evidence that I'm finding. People always said I was smart, okay? Claudette is saying that people said she was smart. I don't know about that, but I was inquisitive for sure. So she's calling herself inquisitive. It's a vocab word we need to think about. I wondered about everything, and I asked about everything. Again, she's talking, she's wondering about everything, she asks about everything. Why don't the stars fall? Where is Japan? Is it different from China? How did God make the earth so fast in 6 days? Did he make the stars too? When Belle died, would she go to heaven? Shouldn't Easter be on a Monday? Weren't there supposed to be 3 days after the crucifixion? So it'd be Saturday, Sunday, Monday, right? So these, I'm going to kind of draw a little box. These are all a bunch of questions that she's asking. So I've highlighted some things she said. I noted that these were some questions that she likes to ask herself. That probably tells me a little bit about what this word inquisitive was. She's inquisitive, so she wonders about things. She asks about everything. And so these questions prove that she's inquisitive. Another word for inquisitive is curious. Let me see if I spell that out for you. O-U-S. She's curious. So now I come down to my next question. Based on what I underlined or highlighted, how would I describe Claudette? So now I'm going to come and press these, the T. This gives me a text box. And I'll make my text kind of small. I'm going to drag my text box down here to answer this question. So based on what I underlined, I wrote that word curious, and I think that applies here. So I think that Claudette is curious. And I learned that inquisitive is another word for curious. So I'm going to write she is inquisitive or curious. And she asks lots of questions and wonders about things. So notice I highlighted my evidence, and then I took my evidence and it helped me answer this next question, which is how would I describe Claudette Colvin? You're going to do the same thinking work on the next few pages.